Perspective now, joining us, former Virginia Republican Congressman Scott Taylor and Ashley Etienne, who served as Communications Director to Vice President Harris, and former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who served on the January 6th committee and has endorsed Vice President Harris. Scott, I mean, he's lying about this in Pennsylvania. There's no widespread election voter fraud. There's no evidence of it in mail-in ballots. People just discount this. It just like at this point, it's just like, oh, this is what he does. But is this acceptable? I mean, he's basically. I mean, do you think this is acceptable?
Hillary did it. You didn't say that.
Listen, Anderson. There are a lot of folks out there, literally millions of Americans, who had a big problem with 2020.
Well, I know, but
just
just factually, they don't have any evidence. Like courts looked at it. I know a lot of people because it's promoted on a lot of networks and a lot of radio networks, but just saying a lot of people feel this doesn't make it true. I think you know it's not true, I assume, but there's no evidence.
That's what I say about men and women.
Look, as I said before, there are tons of irregularities in the 2020 election that never happened before, right? There are people who have problems with it, and that's something for your network to investigate. I think it's a good topic.
What are the tons of irregularities?
Sure. Suspension of state laws that didn't happen before COVID, drop boxes that are unsecure. There's tons of things out there that changed in 2020 that are still there now. I think this is, as I said, look, I ran in 2020 and I lost in 2020, but there are many people, to include folks in my family, who had issues with the way that 2020 was handled, had issues with Zuckerbucks, for example, hundreds of millions of dollars being sent through nonprofits to get out the vote.
Right. There's people who think the earth is flat. Again, it doesn't. There's people around the dinner table who think the earth is flat.
Anderson,
it doesn't make it real.
What I just mentioned to you are those are facts. Those are facts.
Congressman Kinzinger, I mean, is this normal? I mean, it's amazing to me how this is now just like, oh, of course he's tweeting out this stuff about this, denigrating the election.
It's disgusting. And man, Scott, I love you, but come on, dude. Our words have an impact on this country, the country that you and I both fought for. People look up to people, even besides Donald Trump, for a taste of what's going to happen this election. When Donald Trump is saying, this is exactly what he did before 2020, when he is saying that the election is going to be stolen. All he's doing is setting up so that when he loses, if he loses, he can then turn around and say, see, I told you it was going to be stolen. It's going to be stolen. Let's be clear about drop boxes, too. What drop boxes are not is a box that you open up. There's just a ton of unlabeled ballots with votes on it, and you throw them through a voting machine. You have to put your name on your ballot. You sign it. When it goes then to the Secretary of State's office or whoever is counting, they can compare and see, did this person vote on, by mail-in ballot or any other way? If not, great. If it's legitimate, it counts. And if you show up then to vote on election day, you'll be denied because you voted in this drop box. All of the secretaries of state that ran this say this is secure. Yeah. In fact, the Trump campaign should be encouraging people to vote early and vote convenient.
See, that's the problem. Oh, it's almost over.
Can I jump
but
in?
Instead, it's more important.
I agree with that.
It's not almost over. They act like they were there and they know everything. That's what pisses me off.
This is the thing,
They're not questioning anything.
Look. This is how you could get them. So you got to set people up with these debates. I've been paying real good attention. If I was talking to them, I would say, do you fully trust the government? 100%. Do you think they'd say yes? Yes. I think they'd say no.
Most
people would say no on both sides, left and right, typically.
Well, no,
so then you follow that up with,
say yes.
Could it be true? Not saying it's a fact, but is there a possibility? Could it be true that they didn't want Trump to win? They hit him with 34 felonies.
I'm pretty sure I've seen multiple videos.
He got shot. So could it be true that they didn't want him to win and they may have done this thing? Could that be a possibility? Can you say for certain no?
He just said it's a fact that did not happen.
You can't say that.
That's what he said. That's what
I'm saying. You can't say that for certain. There's a possibility.
For certain.
What's debatable is how much of a chance.
I'm gonna keep it 100. In Georgia, they said they got caught doing that.
Bro,
they had a
did
real
y'all see that
article.
video of that lady going to a mailbox and she had all these envelopes and she was supposed to be putting in I guess multiple votes. And it's crazy that some people are able to count that off. This is Jose. He's good.
Somebody, because think about it. And it seems like in the most jobs, there's always, the people who work there can always if you do this, that. There's a lot of loopholes and stuff, And if somebody who really wants something done with some influence.
We've seen it happen.
Hey, can you,
We've seen it happen.
Like Johnny makes, $60K a year. He said, I got 60 million. Well, you need to burn them, Trump. Hey. Johnny, we know what Johnny's gonna do. He gonna ask
I don't
zeros to his
understand why I
account.
act like that's not possible.
Lamborghini truck.
All of the secretaries of state that ran this say this is secure.
Yeah.
In fact, the Trump campaign should be encouraging people to vote early and vote conveniently,
jump
but
in?
instead it's more important.
I agree with that.
Creates this.
Actually, let me go to you. I mean,
Yeah.
what's interesting is that
if you don't,
there are people who committed election fraud, and they are attorneys allegedly working for the former president who actually, orchestrated a plan to get voting machines, take them to hotel rooms and break into them, and they're being prosecuted right now in states throughout the United States.
Have they been convicted?
absolutely. And those people some of them have pled guilty, and the others have been indicted. And those are
Have they been convicted?
staffers as close to the former
Harris,
president,
yeah.
one of whom was actually his former chief of staff. But Anderson, the reason I want to jump in here is because you talked
Former
about
senior
evidence
advisor.
of cheating, and there is actual evidence of trying to cheat the election. It was President Trump. He called Georgia's Secretary of State
that's a
and
fact.
asked for 11,000 votes. You could actually cue that video. There's audio of it. He doesn't even deny
didn't he
it.
get
He was
charged? They
impeached the
charged him
first
with a lot
time
of
for
things,
attempting to
but
try to
not
cheat
that.
the election. And then
That
to
was
your
part of
point,
the
he
RICO
launched a
case.
national scheme to actually do that. And when he did not succeed, what did he do? He threw an entire tantrum and incited an insurrection, a deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. So the only evidence of trying to cheat the election, to your point, is coming from Donald Trump. And I'm not sure how Republicans can defend his actions and call themselves patriotic. I think that is really what's confronting them now. It's the truth is in front of them. They're denying it, to the former congressman's point. And we need to actually just be honest with American people. It's Donald Trump who consistently tries to cheat the election.
Scott, if you want to respond.
Look, man, yeah, I mean, of course, let's not question each other's patriotism. That's ridiculous and absurd. But the reality is there are folks who have issues with this. They want to have a safe and secure election just like anyone. And the former president is highlighting that. And talking
but every
about
time you make the
saying
argument,
things,
but every time you start your argument with there are
Anderson.
people who believe this, it weakens your argument.
But
I mean,
you
that's
just
like
did the
classic
same thing.
high school debate stuff. Like, if that's your thesis, there are people who believe this. That means nothing.
With all due respect, then that would be the same with the Steele dossier, Hunter Biden's laptop, lab leak theory dismissal, Jussie Smollett, and so on this network. I mean, to be honest, I mean, you guys didn't have the facts correct there, right? And people
Got
believe
him.
those things. With all due respect.
Got
That
your
was
ass.
not attempting to overthrow an election.
There's
though.
also things that are
was something
proven
that
wrong,
doesn't
and
count.
people say what is proven wrong.
Oh, really, Adam? This Russia wasn't, and Hunter Biden laptop wasn't attempt to be interfering
No, to
with
sit
the
here and
election?
say
Of
the
course it
president
was.
of
You
the
know that,
United
brother.
States
Got your
saying an
ass.
election is going to be stolen and lying about it is the equivalent of the Steele dossier, which was disproven after the election quickly, was not used in 2020. And even the Hunter Biden stuff, who was not running for president. He's never run for president. He's not attempting to go into the Oval Office, but he's an obsession
He
with
was in
people.
there. Oh, he don't matter. It's
Actually, I
just
mean,
Hunter.
do you see this
I just lost
as
Trump's son.
the president basically the former president just trying to kind of throw everything against, see what sticks? There's election fraud. There's all this stuff, or is it a kind of preparing the way for if he loses, challenging?
I mean, I think it's a D, all the above. I think he's trying to muddy the waters.
Yeah, I really didn't want to hear what she had to say.
Wow, yeah, I just don't understand like how
They
they
contradict
act like.
themselves a lot, bro.
Exactly.
Former communications director
Did you
of
hear
Biden
that,
Harris?
They
I've
might
heard
have
enough.
done this, then that. And, well, can you say that, nigga?
But here's the
CNN is a
fact.
network that millions of people see. So that's disinformation that you gave millions of people. That
They're
is
known
just
for
as
cap.
bad as anything. Like
It's
what?
just, they just said, "Oh, it's my bad. It's all right, though."
Oh, that was just we got that one wrong.
Like
That's
like
not-
like
that
doesn't
as bad,
matter.
though.
That
like
one
like
it
with the
wasn't
COVID shots.
It didn't affect the election.
Yeah, it didn't hurt you that bad.
Like, come on. We just
That
lied
obviously
a couple
did affect the
times.
election. Y'all are lying to people on a news outlet that people are deciding who they're going to vote for.
But he started an
That-
insurrection.
He's a felon.
You're gonna vote for a felon?
He's sexist.
Hey man, who was that guy though? Who who was that former Republican? Okay, Scott Taylor. He went crazy.
Scott Taylor did pretty good.
I think he did. He was in a hostile environment. He got Adam Kinzinger.
It's always hard when it's 3-on-1.
Yeah.
You never see that the other way, though.
Never see that shit the other way. I've never actually seen that the other way in my entire life.
Never be on a panel with 3 people on the right. Never.
Oh, no.
It's just,
I've noticed when it comes to debating, man, they don't like it, bro. They don't want smoke.
Yeah.
Just about their feelings.
I mean, yeah. Because Gavin gets cooked easy. Everybody just, you can just tell Buttigieg, man, get your gas off here, Buttigieg. You can just cook them too easy, bro.
Buttigieg try to call. I hate when he try to call people weird, buddy. You're weird.
Do not say that word.
You're weird.
Do not say that word.
Married to a
You're
dude.
not allowed to say it.
With adopted black children. You're a fucking weirdo.
And your name is Booty Jig.
All right, guys. Let's see what y'all think.
Y'all wrong, man.